I always say that having a YouTube channel has made me learn a lot about sewing, because before that I only sewed for special occasions, a dress for a wedding or anything like that, but now I sew almost every day. And one thing I learn a lot from is your comments. Your tips are always useful and I really appreciate them. I always try to answer all the comments, but maybe if you answer someone's comment I don't see it because I don't receive notifications of that. I'm really sorry, but I really appreciate your comments. Keep commenting. And what better way to celebrate these comments and these tips than making a whole video about comments so everyone can see them and make use of them.
I took notes of people's names.
And of course, keep in mind that apart from this one, Sewverse, I have another channel in Spanish, of course, Costuverso, and most of the comments are from that channel. I have notes. Of course, the comments have no particular order. I just went through all the comments and just chose a few, because there are loads. The first tip, and they've told me a lot of times, is to press my seam. There's lots of people who have told me, and for example, Maria Jose, Ana Carrillo, Blanca Alberca, Arantxa Fernandez, they are the last ones who have told me, but they've told me a lot. And it is true, I forget about it. There's no excuse, you should always press your seam, but sometimes I really forget. I genuinely forget, because I go to sew, I turn the camera on, I talk, I go back, I come, and I just forget. But for that I made my pressing cushions, the tailor ones, and of course last week I also recovered, because it was in a terrible state, the one to press your sleeves, the little ironing board. So with that, I hope I don't forget about ironing and pressing my seams, and you don't have to tell me again. And I have the iron just there in the corner so I can see it. And about ironing, I have a really interesting tip. Nadia Borba said when I did the tailor cushions that they usually come half in cotton and half in wool, because it's better to iron wool on top of wool. I didn't know that, so that's really interesting, and I'll be making myself another one in wool. Apart from pressing your seams, one of the other basic things in sewing is basting. I didn't used to like basting because I thought it was really annoying having to make your seam twice. First basting and then in the sewing machine. So I wasn't on the basting team, but now I am, since I did all the patrones projects and my cousin's queen's dress as well, the regal dress. I think it's really important, especially if you have little details you don't want to be moving. The machine moves the layers of fabric, even if you have pins, so it's much better to baste. So now I'm on the basting team like Kirstin Shadow. Another thing you can do with basting, I didn't know this, is to center your patterns. To match your patterns, you can baste both panels you're going to match so they don't move and you're not pinning and making your life difficult. So next time I do that, next time I match pattern, I will be doing this. Thank you, Villalobos. Not long ago, when I did the t-shirts all with the overlocker, I was told by Julie Tarkan and Miriam Berlan that I should have done a straight seam as well, so you don't see the threads from the overlocker from the outside because of the pulling, because of the stretching. So I didn't know that, but I'll do that next time. One thing I knew and I have done a few times is to put a pin on top of the buttonholes before ripping the seam open. Not the seam, the hole open. That way you don't rip more than necessary. And Betsy Aguayo reminded me of that, and I think even though I've done it and I've said in the videos, I think it's important just in case someone doesn't know. And from buttonholes to buttons. And one viewer, Ana Vargas, commented that in the haberdasheries they sell these big wax sticks so you can rub your thread and it's easier to sew the buttons in place. I haven't got one of those, but I should get one. And the same viewer commented that when you can't see properly the hole in the needle in your machine, it's good to place a paper just behind it so you can see it better. And the next tip, I know I've done it before, but I don't remember with what project. I don't remember if it was slippery material or sticky material like leather, but I know it works, and it is to use some pattern paper on top of your material so it's not slippery or sticky. And this was commented by In a Trendy Town and Isa. And one same tip that has been commented a few times by different people, Marta Toro, Vivi Núñez and Eloisa Jorge, is that you should use painter's tape underneath your normal foot if you don't have a plastic one when sewing jersey or knits. That is really useful. When I did the obvious tips video, I said that for gathering, I had seen many people sewing 2 sets of stitches so it's easier to pull your gather. And I did that with my cousin's regal dress and it worked perfectly fine, but you're just lucky added that it's really useful to use Topstitching thread for that because it's really thick and it makes pulling much easier. So I have to try it. There are many times we only use things in a conventional way, and when someone tells you they use it for something else, it surprises you, and that happened to me when Esther Dominguez said that she uses bias tape to hem trousers, and I think it's really clever because you don't get all that bulky material down there, so I think it's quite clever. It is true that I hemmed a summery jacket with bias tape and it worked really well, so I'll be doing that with trousers next time. So these have been the tips for today. I'm sure there are many more down there in the comment section, but we'll make another video one day. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like. I would really appreciate it. It helps the channel a lot and that way you don't miss anything because I upload a video once a week. But I leave you here 2 links, one for the first viewers tips I did and the other one for obvious tips, which are always useful. So I'll see you around.